Okay, so I'm getting ready to start a Dollar Tree test tumbler. I'm going to use these rub-on transfers on this one, these like kind of whimsical woodland critters. So I have some resin on this 20-ounce skinny from Maker Flow, and I'm going to use this great glitter. It's like a white silver holographic chunky mix with some stars in it. This one is Stardust from LMNOP Design Boutique. So I am just going to get a good coat on. I thought this was a fun whimsical glitter that would go good with the whimsical woodland kind of creatures. Rather than just doing a straight white cup that I seem to be doing so many of lately. Scoop that back up. This glitter has a lot of color in the shift, so I do have a secondary glove on over my main pair so I can immediately pat this down. And because this one doesn't come in a shaker, it comes in a bag, I just poured it in a little medicine cup. And I only put maybe 3 or 4 mLs of epoxy on this. So it's not thick at all. I'm not going to spin it to dry. I'm just going to tip it up on my drying rack for a couple hours and then put it on the turner for a flood coat after that. Gotta get the bottom. If I'm doing several cups at the same time, what I'll do is I will get the coat on for the ones that are getting glittered first and let them sit on the drying rack while I coat any cups that are getting coats on the turner. That way I end up wasting less epoxy overall, because this is the KS Resin Liquidy Split that I'm using for this, and I'm just going to immediately go ahead and pat this down. I'm not going to wait and let it sit at all. There's such a thin coat on here that it's fine. I'm just going to make sure there's none of the big chunky pieces sticking over the edge. Like these little stars, I've got to work them off of there. And just pat it down as best I can. Just because this is so chunky, I don't want it taking 40 coats to cover. And I'm going to pat around the rim as well and kind of scrape off any big chunks. So I kind of look at it down the side to see what's sticking up and what's not. And I didn't want to use that glove to do that, because I do have another cup to go. Okay, so I'm just going to go pop this on the turner, let it dry, and get a flood coat on it, and then we will get some of these fun woodland creatures on here. Okay, this looks very dull because I sanded it. It's still not 100% smooth, but it should be fine to put these rub-on transfers on. The hardest part of this, I think, is going to be that these transfers are so tightly packed together, and I'm going to have to trim them all apart to use whatever I decide I want to use. So I'm definitely going to use the unicorns for a little bit of whimsy. So, I'm not going to make you sit here while I cut these all, but you're going to want to carefully cut around the ones you want to use one at a time, and then start placing them. So I'm going to pause you and come back when I'm ready to start applying. Okay, so I have a bunch of them cut already, and I do have this one little icky spot that I do want to make sure I cover with something. So I think I'm actually going to start with the swan right there, and I did cut these all with their backers, but I'm going to see if I can position a dark part of the swan over that. And I'm going to use a popsicle stick to burnish these. I've not worked with these ones before, so I don't know how well they transfer, and actually they transfer really well, so that was cool. Then I'm going to put the two herons towards the bottom on this side. I'm calling them herons. They could be storks. I don't know. I just spent a week on the river with herons. So, and actually we did see a couple of swans this year, which was cool. I see swans all the time, but I've never actually seen them in the river, so that was neat. Usually we see them on the lakes. I need something a little pointier to get under the edges. Alright. So these are going to be a little subtle, just by the nature of the color of the cup. Again, most of these cups, when I started them, I didn't have a plan or a purpose. And I don't have, I'm not going to put any text decal on this, just the critters. And I will come back in and cut some of these flowers and flourishes and things out. And I'm going to put this group of 3 fish here in the middle on the bottom. I think I'm going to put the 2 single fish like directly on the bottom, just to give it a little something on the bottom. These ones actually work really, really well, so that's good to know. So I'm going to flip this way. And I'm just, this is going to be a little difficult because it's over the bump of the cup itself. But just rub really well with your stick. And I'm going to go ahead and use the unicorns because whoever designed this pack thought it was a whimsical cup or whimsical set. Put the other one over here. So far, so good. I'm going to put these little wolves up here. And I'm going to put the little raccoons here in the middle. And I have one little bunny to put somewhere. I feel like the bunny is going to feel kind of awkward no matter where I put it. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull some of the more colorful pieces to embellish in and around all of these critters. So those I didn't cut already because they only take 2 seconds. I'm going to do both of these sets of birds and flowers. And I see another water lily, lotus. I wish there were more of those, but they're not. Okay. I'm going to put one of these up top here. I did see on somebody's YouTube last night that they had all kinds of, Halloween and fall sets of these. And of course, my store, I ran back in today, didn't get any of them yet, which is unfortunate because they work really well. And I'm going to mirror that one with this one on this side. But if you have a good Dollar Tree, definitely be on the lookout for those. There were quite a few different sets. I had some really pretty pumpkins she showed, and you know, leaves, fall stuff. I really hoped to get my hands on some of the pumpkins, but wasn't meant to be. You want to cut around them just because you don't want to accidentally stick something down where you don't want it. I mean, I didn't actually want that there, but it stuck as soon as it touched the page, or the cup page. Used to using rub-ons on paper, obviously. Let's see where else I can just put in some random pops of color without any real rhyme or reason. Like down here where I have absolutely nothing. This is one of those, I'm just going to make it and hope it appeals to somebody out there somewhere. At some point in time. I'm actually super impressed with how well these are going on. Like, they're pretty awesome. Gonna look it over and decide what else it still needs. Something in between here, I think. This little birdie. I'd hate for it to be the only critter that didn't make it on the cup. I'm going to go ahead and overlap that so he's like sitting on that little piece of the flower. All right. So I think I'm about done. I feel like I'm on the edge of getting cluttered. I'm probably already past cluttered, to be honest. So, all right, I'm gonna call that good. I'm going to get a coat of resin on this in a couple of minutes, and then I will let you see how it looks. Okay, I am ready to get resin on this one. I am not doing anything fancy or special to it. It is just getting a coat of KS Resin Liquid Stone. And you can see that glitter come right back to life. I have more resin mixed up too. Just trying to finish what was in the little cup. So, well, that is it for this one. I think it's cute. I mean, it's simple. I really like the glitter. I like the stars adding to the whimsy. Since it was just a kind of oddball tester, you know, it's really not bad. So I'm going to get this glove off in a second. I layered a larger vinyl over my nitrile since I'm doing a bunch of cups in a row. It's just a kind of way of saving your good glove. I'm just going to torch this real quick. When you're torching, keep it moving. Don't stay in one place or you will scorch it, and that will be especially noticeable on a white cup like this. So, alright, I'm going to bring you down and we'll let you see these little guys. I think it came out pretty cute. This one is another one that is not spoken for. I will put pricing in the description in case anyone wants it. So, that is that. Thank you for watching.